Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this video we are going to check out XCN's price chart, and based on the recent price action we are going to answer a very important question. Is now time to be completely bullish on ONYX coin, or maybe right now it's time to be a bit patient and careful because we may see soon a move on the downside. Now, if you remember, in the previous update, we were right in here, and the idea was that this seems to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down, and what happens after an impulse down? You know the answer. One way or the other, a move on the upside. And let's go around here. If you want to say our correction on the downside in XCN has come to an end, okay, you need to be able to find off of the recent lowest low a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This specific example is an impulse. Rules for it are we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4 and in any kind of 5 wave. Wave 3 should not be the smallest wave, and for our sub waves, you know the deal. 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. Let's change the colors. There we go. Excuse me, what just happened? Let's just take this one again. Okay. Another 5 into wave 3, and this is our final 5 wave into wave 5. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have different scenarios. It's not really that important. Let's say maybe yes, ABC into wave 2 and a WXY into wave 4. Now let's go on the live chart and see, can we identify something like this starting from the recent lowest low right in here about 1.5 cents. Let's actually go on some lower time frames, maybe 15-minute chart, zoom out a bit more. So okay, I think we can say that yes, this is from here a wave 1, ABC in form of a zigzag into wave 2, decent 5 wave on the upside into wave 3, correction for 4, another move up into wave 5. And from this high, the story gets a bit tricky. Sure, I am absolutely able to tell you that either this is an ABC or maybe a WXY in form of a double zigzag. However, my problem in XCN comes down to this move right in here. Because here's a question, how exactly are you able to find a complete 5 wave in it? And I'm saying complete 5 wave because if I just zoom out a bit more, as you can see in the recent move, we actually did take all of these lows, which the lowest low is about 1.7.5 cents. So again, let me ask you this, how exactly are you able to find an impulse? From my point of view, this is a beautiful clear-cut ABC zigzag on the upside. So what's the situation in here? We can consider different possibilities in XCN. In one scenario, you can argue maybe we are having an ABC running flat, which the subways for it are going to be like this. ABC down into a, let's just do this, okay, ABC, or maybe a WXY up into B, not really that important. And then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into wave C. Let's go on the live chart and see what's happening. So I said this is absolutely an ABC up. Before that, I think we can also argue that this is an ABC structure down, and from this high we can say this can be like wave 1, correction for wave 2. I would say probably to about this point, and if this is happening, this can be like 1, 2, good move down into wave 3, correction for 4, another move down into wave 5, which on a higher degree is going to be into wave 3, and then correction for 4, another move down into wave 5, and we may have in here, like starting from this point, an ABC running flat, and on a higher degree, you can say this is the wave 1, correction for wave 2, and then we're going to have a good move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5. Is this scenario possible? The answer is yes. However, this is not really my primary case. Why is that? Let's zoom in more and measure this specific move up and compare it to the length of our supposedly wave 1 right in here. As you can see, by a very decent margin, this is actually bigger than this move. However, we said that earlier, according to the bullish count, this is on a higher degree relative to this one. So this is really, really unusual, and that makes me say maybe we do not have a bullish count in here, and instead overall whatever move on the upside that we're gonna have is a correction in XCN, and after it's over, what are we going to have? Probably another move on the downside. Now, Can our move start from the current point? Yes, it absolutely can. But given the fact that the current move seems to be slow and choppier than this move on the upside, let's actually, in fact, compare these two moves timing wise. Okay, how long is it taking for us so far to have this move? About 440 candlesticks. On the other hand, yes, in only 50 candlesticks, we had this move on the upside. So to me, this suggests maybe in the space down, bears do not really have a whole lot of power to pull the price all the way back down here. And maybe bulls do still have the upper hand. And as a result of it, yeah, okay, fair enough. We may see a move on the upside. But even in here, I'm not really going to be overwhelmingly optimistic in XCN. Okay, for now, ONYX coin is really not on my watch list for trading because the structures in here do look quite complicated and I am really not able to find a clear-cut 5-wave in order for me to say with quite a bit of confidence that the low of our correction overall is in here about 1.5 cents. So what should we do? I think we need to be a bit patient. Now, in terms of classic technical analysis, meaning support and resistances, we talked about this subject so many times. As long as we are staying above this important level between 1.5 to about 1.7 cents, I think we are good to go up. What you do not want to see is a rather strong move down in order for us to go under this region and then pull back, followed by that a continuation of the move down in order to take this low. Why? Because that is going to unfortunately open some doors to more downward price action, maybe even in order for us to reach to all the way down here around this important level between 0.8 to about 0.9.5 of a cent. That can actually happen, but again, as long as we are staying above here, I think there might be still some hope for XCN. And let me be very clear, even if we get like a rather strong move down, even at that point, I'm going to be bullish, okay? Because you see, this point about 2.7 cents is the highest high. And off of it, I think there's a very high chance that we are having in this initial phase down to about this low, an ABC zigzag and not an impulse, which did kind of get confirmed when in this move up, we took the height of our B leg. So this suggests there's a very high chance whatever move on the downside that we are going to have in XCN, it's just going to be a correction structure, and after it's over, we are going to continue our uptrend. It's just a question of whether the low of our correction is already in or not. And based on what we are seeing and what we just talked about earlier, I think we need to be a bit careful because the structures in here do look quite complicated, and maybe XCN for like just very short term is not really as bullish as we all think. Sure, starting from this point, let's get like a very strong impulse on the upside in order to especially take this high about like 2.5 cents area. Okay, at that point, I am going to change my tone a bit. But as long as I'm not saying that, I am really not going to go long in ONYX coin. So I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in XCN's chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.